Today, we have a very interesting story to share. It's about Brother Juniper, who was a 13th century disciple of St. Francis of Assisi. His story is mentioned in the book titled The Little Flowers of St. Francis. Brother Juniper was one of the original followers of St. Francis, and he is often mentioned as the jester of the Lord. There are many examples in the book that suggests that Juniper suffered from mild autism, which in those days people did not understand quite well. People around viewed Juniper as devout and holy because of his literal, almost childlike perception of the world. Let us learn about this amazing saint today. St. Francis of Assisi was a humble leader who craved for neither power nor attention. Like a powerful spiritual magnet, he drew thousands of followers, people who left thriving businesses and comfy homes behind to wander around, serving the poorest of the poor, putting God's compassion on radical display, doing what Jesus would do. Born in the late 12th century, Brother Juniper was an early follower of St. Francis of Assisi. Juniper was so innocent in his desire to serve the poor that he would simply rob from the haves to give to the have-nots without any sense he had done anything questionable. There are many such tales of Brother Juniper. One such story involves a pig. One day, Brother Juniper visited a sick brother and asked what he could do to ease his suffering. The brother answered that he would like a simple meal of a pig's hoof. Brother Juniper answered immediately, "Leave it to me. I'll get one right away." So Juniper went into the forest and found a herd of pigs. He carefully cleaned and prepared the soup, then took it to the sick brother. He brought it to his sick friend, who heartily enjoyed it. Filled with satisfaction at a job well done, Juniper recounted to his friend the tale of how he had acquired the pig's foot. The owner of the pig was furious and immediately went to Juniper's superior and called them thieves. St. Francis scolded Brother Juniper and asked him to go to the swineherd and beg his forgiveness. Brother Juniper was shocked. Why on earth would someone be upset with such a compassionate deed? After all, mere possessions have no value unless they can be applied to the service of one's neighbor. So instead, he went to explain his actions to the swineherd. He was met by anger and insults, but they seemed to have no effect on Juniper. He thought the swineherd just didn't grasp his act of charity, so he cheerfully recounted the story again. He begged with such compassion, simplicity, and humility that the Lord's heart melted. His heart miraculously changed. He threw himself at Juniper's feet and tearfully repented for his mistreatment of Juniper and his brothers. It's easy to think of Brother Juniper and other holy fools as being a bit odd or crazy. Their stories might seem like silly jokes that don't really matter. But there's actually something very important in these stories. When we pay attention to Juniper and others like him, we start to ask ourselves, maybe they're the ones who really understand things. Juniper's special gift was seeing the world in a unique way and sticking to that vision. Even when people were unkind, he kept believing in his way of seeing things. And eventually, the world started to understand him. So serious was Juniper about imitating Christ that he would give away the very clothes off his back. After several embarrassing episodes, Juniper's superior ordered him not to give his tunic or any part of it to anyone. But soon, Juniper was approached by a pauper asking for alms. He replied, "I have nothing to give except this tunic, and I cannot give it to you due to my vow of obedience. However, if you steal it from me, I will not stop you." Left naked, Juniper returned to the other friars and told them he had been robbed. His compassion became so great that he gave away not only his own things, but the books, altar linens, and capes belonging to other friars. The other friars eventually learned not to leave anything lying around because Juniper would, if he found it, give it away. So on this and many other occasions, Juniper's foolishness ultimately bore such a lesson in charity, faith, or humility that Francis himself was moved to observe on one occasion, "My brothers, if only I had a great forest of such junipers." He died in 1258 and is buried at Aracoeli Church in Rome. He was never formally beatified.